Hello, trail travelers. This is Carrie, and today we're going to hit Pennsylvania Gulch, starting here in the little town of Sunset. It's going to be a gorgeous day, so stay right there. We'll be right back. Okay, this is Pennsylvania Gulch. It's going to be a pretty narrow climb here, and it's could be a little tricky in the snow. Shouldn't be too bad. Some of the websites rate it really high, like 7 out of 10, which is kind of surprising. It's shouldn't be rated that high, maybe a 5 or 6, I think. But you know, we're gonna give it a shot today in the snow. Should be a good time. We got some other people that have already headed up. Some guys in a taco and some guys in an FJ. So if everything goes well, we won't catch up to them because they're a little bit ahead of us while we're sitting here airing down. I'm going to go down to about 18 PSI for this. That should be all there is. Now there's 3 ways to get to this trail. You can come in either way from a Switzerland trail. You can come from the Pikes or the Peak to Peak Highway side, or the Gold Hill Road side, and then get into here. The town of Sunset is just these buildings right here. So we're in right outside of Sunset, and then you can come on in. Now what we did this morning is we just drove straight to Sunset through 4 Mile Canyon and kind of bypassed the Switzerland Trail and came right into Sunset, and you make the turn here onto Switzerland Trail, and it's maybe a couple hundred feet before you hit Pennsylvania Gulch. So we're gonna head up the gulch and see how things go. All right, we are ready to head up Pennsylvania Gulch. We're aired down, we're in 4 low, we're in manual, and we got the sway bar disconnected. So I think we're all set. We've had a few people go up ahead of us. We're gonna take up the rear and see how crazy this trail really is, considering that I think it was All Trails or Trail Damage, one of them, rated this a 7 of 10. So that would be pretty extreme through here. But I think we're gonna have our own rating by the time we're done. We've covered about a 1/4 mile so far. And so far, like I said, this has been pretty easy, except that if you don't like being a little off camber on the side of a cliff, this might get your adrenaline going a little bit. And hasn't been extreme off camber yet. Our roll angle hasn't gone past about 12 or 15 on some spots. But when you're in the snow and you're looking down a cliff, yeah, I can see where this could get the heart pumping a little bit. Going uphill, we're on about a pretty average 12% incline. So here's a little side roll there, nothing bad. But this is, as opposed to the rest of Switzerland Trail, you cannot just bring any old vehicle up here. This is definitely for off-highway vehicles. Anything, you know, you're gonna have to have 4-wheel drive, some good ground clearance. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it over some of these little ledges. But the view's pretty nice. I mean, we're looking down into a canyon right there. So, like as you see ahead there, our right tire is gonna get up pretty high. Again, let's see. Yeah, that was 15 degrees. So if you're uncomfortable with those, oh, that was 19, so 19 degrees there. If you're uncomfortable with those kind of roll angles, this might not be a trail for you, but you are pretty safe on this. So I would go up here with some other people and, you know, follow them up so you can see that, you know, the angles are going to be safe. Just stay in the same tracks that they did. Now, what I will say is this is a very narrow trail, and you are very, very likely to get some pinstriping on your vehicle going through here. It's just not wide enough. There's a nice little drop off. We're gonna have to go down, and we're just gonna take that nice and easy. We're definitely doing everything a little easier today because of the snow. We don't want to lose any traction and run into any problems. So we'll just keep cruising and see what Pennsylvania Gulch has in store for us today. It's probably the only spot right there wide enough for 2 vehicles. Maybe a little hard to see from the dash cam here, but this is one of several pretty rocky areas that you go through. I would imagine that when this is dry, this is probably much rougher, but right now being filled in with all the snow, it's actually not too bad. It's a little bumpy, and so far we're not having any issues with traction. And we only went down, I went down to 17 in the front, 18 in the back, and we're just crawling right up all this. So far so good. I said it is a little rough, and if you're in a tall vehicle like ours, I mean, right now we're on the 38-inch Patagonias on the 2.5-inch lift from the Rubicon, and we're hitting stuff on the roof. So this is one time where a lift is not paying off, or with big tires. You're much better served with a lower profile vehicle coming through here. Okay, well, maybe we lose a little traction once in a while, but not crazy. And that was really because I stopped. Had I kept my momentum going, I would have been fine. Right now we're about a mile up the trail, and here's a nice little aspen grove here. Really pretty. Just wanted to take a moment, step out, take a good look around. Looks like we got some deer tracks going through here. I bet this is really, really pretty in the summer and fall. We may have to come and revisit this trail at a different time of year. Great view. All right, back to the trail. All right, so a few people have been up, and it definitely made this spot super, super slick. So we've got a really nice tree right here. We got the winch completely ready to go. So we're just gonna throw the winch line on here, pull up past this spot, and keep going. So let's get the winch going. Okay, we've got the tree saver around the tree here, going to a soft shackle to our flat link E. So we've got a nice closed system here. We got it going back to the Jeep. We're gonna tighten up the line, start winching things in. So we'll just make it up here nice and easy. It's not gonna be too hard of a pull. So no need for snatch blocks or anything like that. Just a real simple, get it up over that little ledge pull. Let's get it going. All right, so we've got the winch hooked up. We got just a small amount of tension on there at the moment. I'm trying to find a good safety spot to be in. Fortunately, with the length of the line here, there really isn't any place to go where I can keep an eye on things and make sure that she's doing a good line. So unfortunately, I can't even get behind a tree or anything. Not the best position to go in. So I think what I'm going to do is get inside the Jeep where it's nice and safe. All right, since there was no tree to stand behind or any safe place to be, I'm inside the Jeep where I can control the winch, and Katerina is driving. So she's just going to get the emergency brake off, make sure she's in manual 1, and I'm not going to have her give really any gas. I'm going to let the winch pull us up to the spot that we need to be at. Otherwise, she's just going to spin tires. So let the winching begin. And it should pull us right towards that tree, right where we want to go. And all she has to do is kind of keep the tire straight. Okay, turn towards the tree a little bit. Yep. There we go. We're moving right up very nicely. Now it is taking us at an angle, so I'm going to want to check the line there and make sure it's not all bunched up on one side. Just a little bit further, and we should be pretty good. Okay, that should have us in a nice position right there. And you know, if need be, we'll hook up to another tree and keep going. Well, we got past the tricky part, and we're fairly close to the top here, so there isn't a whole lot left to do that's going to get tricky at all. So we're just going to kind of cruise the rest of the way up the hill and then start working our way down. But that's really the toughest spot, and it should only be a problem in conditions like this where there's snow and ice, which is why you don't want to do this trail without a winch. Good safety precaution. Now we could have got through without it, but it's always fun to play around with the winch a little bit, so might as well have a go at it today. Now there is a little Y intersection back there, and if you're not using a map, which you should absolutely be using a map, you want to go to the right to keep going on Pennsylvania Gulch. I can't even find that little trail on any of the maps that I have, so I'm not really sure where it goes, which is probably a good reason not to take it, at least not in the snow. It's always fun to be the first person to break trail, but today we just want to kind of get through things today. But one more nice little climb up here on Pennsylvania Gulch, and that should be, I believe, about the highest point that we're going to reach today. All right, we've pretty much made it to the top. There's a nice little spot here that you can get out, maybe have your little lunch break here if you want. Very nice spot for a handful of vehicles that can stop and pull over here. But I think, you know, it's noon. We're almost out of this, so I think we're going to continue to the end and then maybe go hit some other trail today. Well, that was Pennsylvania Gulch. You actually exit coming down this road here, and I'm going to try and turn here. This road coming in is the peak-to-peak highway entrance to Switzerland Trail, and if you continue on this way, you continue on to Switzerland Trail. Or if you hit Switzerland Trail from either Sunset or Gold Hill Road, you're going to be exiting out this way, just like these guys are right here. Not really sure how they ended up over here, but there they are. So we're going to head out this way, and when we get towards the end, we'll air back up.